Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. I'm your host, Nadia Sahari. I'm so happy to have you all listening today because I have a very interesting, wonderful human being that is my guest today, and I can't wait to bring her on. But first, I want to tell you what I'm doing, why I do this show, and I've been doing it for 10 years. That we are all dreamers. We all have a dream of writing a book, acting in a movie, getting a record label, or we dream of having our own business. And I do all of it. I'm all of those things. And I'm still that little girl in the candy store trying to pick her favorite candy. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I keep going. My dream, since I was 10, was to be the actress. I am an actress. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author, so that's why I invite my guests to show their success, to tell us about it, to share their secrets, their journey, and their challenges. How did they do it? What are they doing now to maintain that success? Because it's a tough world out there. So my guest today, not only has she got a great story, but she's got a story also about her childhood. She is a childhood abuse survivor. So we're going to learn a lot more from her. Without further ado, I want to introduce to you Alesha Brown. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Nadia, thank you so much. It's an awesome privilege for me to be here, and I'm so excited to talk to your listeners today.
Well, I'm glad to have you because you had me on your show, and we're going to talk about that later. But it's only fair that I do this, and I love doing it, so I love talking. I love talking to people. It. Yes. So, you heard a little bit about my show, and I, of course, know about you, and not your history or anything, because you interviewed me, and now it's my turn to interview you. So,
I know.
So, you're a childhood survivor of abuse. And you're on a mission to reverse the damage that abuse causes, and you're encouraging survivors to write and publish their story. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and let's go back to the age where your abuse began.
You know, that's the unique thing about abuse. I really can't pinpoint to an age.
Yes.
What I will say about my story is I remember being told that I was worthless, that I was stupid, that I was lazy, that I was fat. And that was by my abuser, who was one of my parents, my father, so to speak.
Yes.
So for me, that has always been my theme. And unfortunately, when you're in the formative years, what you tell a child is what they believe.
Amen.
So that was my overarching theme. I was a very bright child. I was a sick child, but I was very bright and did not know it. Probably didn't really realize that until I was in my 20s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you are a thriver. You're not a survivor. You have thrived. You have done wonderful, and you're a victor. You're not a victim. And I love your vision statement. By the power of one, ignite the flame within and illustrate ways each one can reach many and be an effective, positive change agent in the world.
Yes.
Explain that to us.
It's so personal to me because one thing about it, you have a choice. And I tell people when we come into this world, we don't get to choose the hand that we're dealt. Everybody's dealt a hand when you come into the world. You didn't choose that, but you choose how you play that hand. And, you know, some people you would say, I got the winning cards. You know, I got the winning hand. But the one that knows how to bluff to have the loser's hand and still beat you. So every day it's a choice. It's a mindset choice. It's the choice that I can play victim or I can recognize that I am a victor and then recognize that I have a purpose. So for me, that vision statement is getting people to understand you are not what happened to you. There's a purpose you were born with, and that is what you have to pursue in order to have healing, in order to have peace, and in order to have joy. And that is meant to have a ripple effect on many people, not just changing one person's life.
I agree. That is very profound, and that is very, very wise. All those words you just said are wonderful. And I got to tell you, there's no way in HELL that you are stupid.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sometimes I wish I knew that sooner. So it's my mission, whether, whoever the abused person is, whether it's a little child or whether there's someone that's older, is just to help guide them to their awareness. Because until you're aware of your giftings and until you receive who you are truly, not what someone else labeled you to be, you won't walk in that. You'll still be, beholden to what someone told you, whether the rest of the world sees that it's totally not true. But until you see it's not true, you'll live according to that label and live up to that.
That is true. And, I had sort of the same problem with my father. And my father was the physical abuser in my life. And he pretty much said the same thing to me. And, you don't have to say that you wish you had discovered it sooner. Because honestly, you discovered it when God wanted you to discover it so you could be where you are.
That is so true. So true.
Have no regrets, because everything we learn is at the right time and for a reason.
And I preach that to people all the time. It's absolutely true. Nothing is for naught. So I need to be reminded of that, and thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's very important for you to tell the story of your life and to go forward with it and live with all of that behind you. And, you said something that you are living behind a cloak of shame, guilt, or vanity. Yeah. Why?
No, I encourage people not to.
Okay.
Because I feel that in life, a lot of people live that way, and they don't understand it leaves a residue to everything that they do.
Yes.
You bleed out to everything. So I encourage people to not live under that cloak of shame or pain or, to really pursue their healing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's not you that is living through that. You are persuading others not to live with the guilt and the shame and the vanity.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Awesome.
And so tell us, have you written a story, a book, or anything like that at all yet?
Absolutely. And what I do is I use myself as living proof, so often people want to preach things that you read somewhere, but you really don't live it. Uh-huh. I live it. And my joke to people is, I wrote 2 books, and the first book was the one that led to the business that I never thought I wanted, because I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, and now I do 100% full time. So it's like, what? But that's what happens when you step out of yourself. You connect to something that's bigger than you. You realize what your purpose is, and you pursue it. So the first book I wrote was called Sometimes All You Have is Happy, and it was a guide to obtaining happiness while waiting. And the thing was, I literally, and that really is the mission and so much of what I do, I wanted to provide a voice to someone that was standing on the edge of life and just wanted to end everything. Mm-hmm. And I wanted them to know someone hears you. Mm-hmm. Someone understands your pain. And I'm encouraging you to really look at your life and make a different choice. Mm-hmm. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. Don't kill yourself. Find something in your life that you can find temporary happiness until you can get to that level of joy. And just started from there because now everybody kept asking me, well, how did you publish a book? And I kept telling them. And, it was like, wait a minute, if enough people keep coming to you, this is a possible business. And it grew from there. And today, part of the brand, we're a publishing company so that more people can tell their story and reach those people that they were purposed and assigned to.
Wow. Did you ever contemplate suicide or get depressed?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. That's what motivates me. Because, there's no reason whatsoever that a young child, anyone really, but there's no reason why a young child should ever have to endure anything where they feel like suicide is the only solution. But I did. And I tell people, it's my relationship with God now that means everything to me. But I was abused in a Christian home. So when people say, well, how can you be hopeless? How can you not just go to God, leave it with God? People have those things and still want to kill themselves because it's deeper than that. It's more complicated than that. So, that is what motivates me because no child, no person, no entity, no being should ever have to deal with that.
That's right. That's right. And, I was looking at your story, and you mentioned that the library saved your life. I kind of relate to that, but I want to hear how the library saved your life.
Yes. And, this is the thing, in dysfunction, there's always some order. And the thing was, my mother, before she gave birth to me, was an educator. So it was very important to her that I would always learn how to read and study. So the library was right down the street, still is. And she always had me in the summer reading program because at the age of 4, I taught myself how to read. So truthfully, in the abusive situation, I didn't have solace at school, definitely didn't have at home. Even going to the place we worshiped, we had to pretend to be the perfect family. So there was no way for me to escape the abuse and the reality that was undesired, except for the library. I could read these stories. I could go anywhere and be free through the pages of a book. So for me, the times where I contemplated suicide, I prayed to God to give me the courage to kill myself. I'd be reminded of the story of other survivors and say, if they were able to make something great out of their life, they were able to be successful, then maybe one day I can. And I remember saying this so vividly. I won't kill myself tonight. I can't guarantee tomorrow, but I'll hold on for one more night. And that one more night continued on and on and on. So the library, in part, it did save my life.
I used to go to the library myself and spend hours to read books.
Yes.
And to get away from the abuse.
Yes. Who would have thought?
Yes.
Who would have thought?
Yep.
Something so simple and free.
Yes, and that was the only place, exactly. Where else could you go?
God knows.
Yeah, that was great that we had that neighborhood library. It was great.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it.
And,
And, well, do you have a message that you would like to share with teachers, parents, or anyone that works out there with the youth about suicide and abuse prevention? How can we change things? How can we help the young people today? Because it's still going on.
Yes, God. I understand that a lot of those different roles, there's enough on them, especially educators. But one of the things that at one point in my life haunted me, I remember being in high school, and I was part of an organization called Future Business Leaders of America. I remember there were different people there, teachers, educators, some local politicians, and I stood up, and I was giving a speech as the president of that organization, and my business teacher in high school, there was someone from either middle school or elementary school that walked up to her and said, "Is that Alesha Brown?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "Because that girl, I knew her. I taught her. And if you said boo to her, she would jump. I can't believe she's up there speaking so well and in front of people. I understood that, and I laughed. But I said, you know what? When you saw a child that fearful that if you just said something to her, she jumped, that should have been an alert.
Yes.
When you see a child that's seemingly intelligent and won't interact with people, closed off, why are they missing so much school? But I'm seeing these marks. Something should have went off. Mm-hmm. And the one thing you find out when people go forward with stories of abuse, you hear people in the community, at church, different places where that child was, they say, I knew something wasn't right. Mm-hmm. So if you knew something wasn't right, why don't we say something? Mm-hmm. Because you may now save someone's life. The worst thing to me is when we see something on Facebook where a child commits suicide or a person or the news, everybody says, it's at least one person, I knew something wasn't right, or I saw this was going to happen one day. Why didn't you say something? Sometimes it could be simple. It's just telling them how smart they are, how beautiful you are today. That child that gets picked on, maybe their clothes are off,
Yes.
Say something to affirm them.
Yes.
Because sometimes just a smile.
Yes.
Everybody, when you're in a hate-filled, violent-filled area, that's one of the reasons why I'm happy. But I always smile wherever I go. Because sometimes that smile gives a person hope when they're looking for hope. And that's what most suicide victims, the truth is. It's not that they want to die. Right. They just don't feel like they have any hope. Right. So look at people. Look at things that are off. There are times that there's things you see you have to report, but if nothing else, give them a smile. Give them words of encouragement, but stay vigilant.
Yes, I love it. We're going to take a short break, Alesha, so don't go away.
All right.
All right, here we go. We'll be right back with Alesha Brown.
Get locked into the Nadia Sahari Show and achieve your dreams today. Listen in at the NadiaSahariShow.com. Listen to some amazing people just like you find their way in life with great uplifting stories, problems they dealt with, and get to understand what makes them tick. It's the Nadia Sahari Show. Great interviews, touching feelings. Whatever talk you need, you're sure to find it right here at the Nadia Sahari Show. Grab it, do it, love it, and get excited today.
And we're back with Alesha Brown, and this is a marvelous, marvelous woman. I love what she has to say. You're amazing, Alesha.
Thank you, and likewise.
And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me ask you, have you had much influence from other people to get to where you are, your success, your healing, your just everything that you've been through and where you are now? Did you have any mentors, any influencers?
Yes. And that is important.
Yes.
I truly believe there's one stage where you have to have the mind that you want to be well.
Yes.
But you're not going to get there 9 times out of 10 by yourself. So one of the things I want to say to anyone listening, this crap about you need to pull yourself up by the bootstrap.
Yes.
You need to do this. Don't let someone shame you into that.
Yes.
Because we didn't come into the world by ourselves. You may not have been a twin, but somebody assisted your delivery. Someone in that process of 9 months did something in order for you to develop and come out of the birth canal, and it continues on. So we all need help. We all need assistance. We weren't created to be alone our whole life. So why do we think we're supposed to heal alone?
Yes.
You need people.
Yes.
And then when you're seeking to do anything, you need people that are further ahead than you are and where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And they can save you sometimes, what to look out for. I've tried that. Here's my advice to you. Or here's my assistance.
Yes.
So definitely mentors, role models, guidance. Sometimes you just need a person to cry on their shoulder.
Yes.
That's important.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay. Well, you focus a lot on people, and you
Yes.
strive on it to show them the differences between joy versus happiness. What is the difference? And why do you do that?
You know, I do it because of this. I believe in the pursuit of joy, because joy is a permanent state. Happy is temporary. And in the first book I did, Sometimes All You Have Is Happy, I talked about how, you can get a song, and in the moment, that's my jingle, I'm happy. Or for some of us, it's something you like, and you eat it. So I feel great because, that tasted wonderful. But then after that moment, or those moments, or that short block of time, life happens and I'm not happy anymore. That's why sometimes you have people that are alcoholic or drug addicts, because they need that high. If I can get that high, I'm okay. But when the high dies down, I got to chase the next high. So if I have a permanent state of joy that's not predicated on the situation, then I'm going to have more peace and abundance. But you cannot negate happiness, because that person that's standing on the edge, they're on the ledge about to jump off. They don't need joy right now. They need rescue. So if it's a temporary thing that's safe, of course, not hurting you, but if it's something temporary that makes you happy, that just gives you breath in this moment so you can move on to that loftier goal, let's do that. If it's a song, if it's a short vacation, if it's a pleasant experience, pursue that so you can pursue the more permanent state. But know the difference. Know the difference.
Yes, I agree. I like it. And joy comes from the heart, but joy can only be done if you believe in God and know God. You don't receive joy, love. You can't really give joy or love or anything happy or anything without really loving God. Because when you love God, He's going to give you that love, that joy, that happiness that's going to radiate to everyone else.
Trust me, I tried. And I found that nothing else worked. Literally,
nothing else.
Nothing
Exactly.
else worked.
Exactly. It's short-lived. It doesn't last. Only God lasts.
Yes.
Only
and
what
sometimes
He gives.
It hurts you more.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. But that's the beauty of it. Because we've had so much pain. That is why we love so intensely, and that's why we still have intense pain and intense hurt, and because of we've been through it. We've been through it. And we can feel it more than those who have not. The people who have not experienced the pain don't understand, because they never went through it. And I'm glad they didn't, but they don't understand you, and we kind of scare them.
Yeah. And can I just say something about that real quickly?
Yes.
One of the things I want to tell people, because, when you talk sometimes in certain circles about suicide, and this is, Suicide Prevention Month, but people go, oh, my God, I just can't imagine life being so horrible that someone wants to kill themselves. And my immediate reaction to them is, I pray to God you never do.
Yes.
Let's be a little bit more mindful with our words.
Yes.
Because there are people always amongst you.
Yes.
The plague of suicide, there are people always amongst you, and I don't care what it looks like or how they pretend or how they appear, that are going through that. So sometimes you can say something, and in a certain environment, people live shameful, and it only adds to the problem. So, some things we say, and maybe we innocently don't mean to hurt someone, but let's just think twice about our words.
Yes.
With different people, because you never know what someone's going through. I always think about Robin Williams. He was always on. He was funny. And, we would think someone like that, his life was nothing but joy. That man lived in so much pain, and we saw the end result of that. So you don't know. Mind your words and always speak life.
And we lately had Kate Spade.
Yes.
And
Anthony Bourdain.
Yes. And so who knew? Nobody knew.
Never.
I mean, they were around people every day.
Yeah.
And nobody knew. How could that be?
Exactly.
It's sad. It's so sad. And it's sad because if they only could have shared or talked to someone who would have listened, they would be alive today.
That's why it's so important.
Yes.
If God bless you with this gift of life today,
yes,
live in purpose.
Yes.
Don't focus on how much you haven't done,
That's
or I
right.
meant to do this, or I should be further ahead. Live in purpose, because you're assigned to people. So when you live in your purpose, someone's getting blessed by your presence, even if they never tell you.
Yes. And we do need to live our purpose. And it just like a speck of dust, we can be gone. Our breath is gone.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I remember when my father was dying and he was in ICU. We were all there. You know, when you're born, you take this deep breath.
Yeah.
You inhale to give you life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time in my life that I actually heard somebody and saw someone take their last breath, their exhale.
Yeah.
And I heard my father's exhale. It was like it filled the whole room. And I heard that exhale, and I knew he was gone. And that was something I never thought of or saw or heard in my entire life until my father passed away. It's amazing.
My God.
And how valuable our breath is, how meaningful it is. Just one exhale away from being gone.
You know, it's funny you said that, because when September 1st rolled around, I woke up with such excitement. I was so thrilled. And then the Holy Spirit reminded me, you know, a year ago on this date, you married a friend. A week later, you were involved in a 3-car collision that should have been fatal. And then a week and a half after that, you were performing a funeral. And really, that's all life is. Every day someone's going to get married. Every day someone's going to be born. Every day someone's going to die.
Yes.
All of those things will happen. But what are you doing in this day to show your gratitude and live according to purpose?
Yes.
You can choose happiness and joy. That's your choice, and no one can choose that for you or take it from you.
That's right. It is by choice and not by chances that we change our circumstances. That's Nadia Sahari's quote from her book.
Yeah.
So, and that is so true, because we really, what's going on in our world today is so sad and so ridiculous, and that people spend their time and waste their time on politicians and what they say and get programmed and follow them like sheep. I think we need to be independent, and we need to think independently, and we stop following these people and what they say, and think for ourselves and do our own research, and let our own brain and let God reveal to us the truth.
Yes. If you're going to get upset about those things, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But what did God tell you to do about it?
Yeah.
If you're not willing to ask what did he tell you to do about it, then don't give energy to those things.
Yes, that's right. Oh, I love it. Now, the big question. What valuable advice can you give our listeners if they want to pursue their dream and their career like you have? How can they do that? What would you suggest? What advice?
You know, some things that I think can be the most transformational may sound hokey, but when you receive them, they're not.
Yes.
First of all, give yourself permission to be great. Because one thing I've noticed about working with different clients, for instance, books, they'll come to me. Oh, do you think anybody would want to read this? That's not the question. The question is, you don't believe in the power of what you have to say, or that it's important enough that anyone would want to read it and receive a benefit. So it doesn't matter how I dress it up. If you're the one that has to present this book, this concept, this business, you will be selling yourself every day for those things you believe in. If you don't believe in it, you can't make anyone else believe in it either. So you first have to believe, not just speak, I want to do this. I'm not talking about affirmations. Those are wonderful. But do you even believe you deserve to?
Okay.
Do you believe you have the ability within to pull off, with God's help, what you're saying? Because if you don't believe it, you won't receive it. You know, so people say, I want to be a millionaire. But if you don't believe you deserve to be one, you probably won't be. And if you get the money, you'll find yourself sabotaging your own efforts because you don't believe you deserve it. So first, believe you deserve it. And then belief is wonderful, but faith without works is dead. You have to do something. And then you have to understand that you're not designed to know everything. I don't know why we have this belief, well, if I'm saying I'm a business owner, I need to know everything. No. Some of my biggest, most successful coaches have said, you need to be the dumbest person in the room. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? No, you need to be the dumbest person in the room. Because a smart business owner just hires people that are more efficient in other areas, and they actually direct them. So this little thing of, well, I'm not smart enough. I don't think I'm qualified enough. Well, if you believe that, you're probably not. But the smart person knows I need to be surrounded by those who excel in the area that I need help to pull this off. And then instead of micromanaging them, I need to release them to do what they are designed to do for this effort. And then I need to do what only I can do and see what God produces from that.
That's great. Great advice. Very good. I love it. Well, is there anything about you, Miss Alesha, that we don't know?
Let's see.
That we should
know?
Well,
you wouldn't tell from this. Oh, okay. Well, in that case. I will say this. One thing about my background, which is why, people say if you could just dream your life over again and you could make some of those things that happen not happen, would you do it? Absolutely not. Because everything good, better, and different has made me who I am. And the one thing I say at the worst of times where, I'm in doubt or I'm discouraged, I go, you know what? You're a fighter. Everything you've been through, you have overcome, and you're still here. So really, this little thing over here that may look big in the moment, you're going to let that take you out when you didn't let all this other stuff take you out? Really? And I sort of laugh and I encourage my own self. So it's like, in adversity, just like David, he was that shepherd boy. Yes. He was called, but before he was able to get on the throne, he had to still be in that field and go through some stuff. Yes. So sometimes adversity, the unpleasant things, they are necessary because they are building you and they're building your strength. So when you go through those different levels and you're going through the next dimension, you will look back and go, no, I'm already prepared for this because I don't throw in the towel. Yeah, I remember this, but I am not a quitter. And I am able to see this forward, press forward, and I'm able to rise above.
Wow. That was wonderful. Alesha, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm just honored to know you.
Oh, I am. We're going to be friends, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your podcast. What is all that about? I know I was on there, but tell the listeners about your podcast and where they can listen. Yes.
Well, we are the Entrepreneurs Lounge radio show and podcast. If you go to the entrepreneurslounge.info, that has our information. Or, if you go to thejoyguru.net, that'll have other links, and that's up there. The Entrepreneurs Lounge, again, it's an entrepreneur. A lot of times I meet people. And, whether they're aspiring, they're at different levels, just the real stuff that entrepreneurs go through. So I thought about it. I said, I've been blessed. I continue to be blessed. I'm part of global organizations that have experts from around the world that give me advice. Why not bring that to people? Not to mention, as you well know, podcasts are great marketing tools as well as get you to be able to connect to those people that you may not have come across and get their expert advice.
That's
so
right.
This is simply a show that exposes the myth of entrepreneurship, and then so you can release the weight of it all. So I love the podcast. I love the guests we have. I love my new co-host. Who's another extraordinary entrepreneur.
She's wonderful, yes.
She is. As you were able to be interviewed and introduced to her. But, just that diversity and just entrepreneurs feeling like, yes, someone understands me, but the expert allows you to be laser focused so you can go ahead and go to that next level. This stuff over here, you don't really need that. This is what you really need to know from those who are truly successful.
Very good. I agree totally. Well, are you on any social media?
Of course. And very simple to find me, Of course, you can go to the website, thejoyguru.net, which will have all of my handles and things like that. On most social media platforms, I'll say all except for one, I am at The Joy Guru, except for Facebook, which I am at Alesha Brown, The Joy Guru, and Alesha is Alesha. But just remember The Joy Guru, and you'll be fine.
I love it. I love that, too. Yeah, Joy Guru, yeah. Well, Miss Alesha Brown, you're amazing and wonderful and beautiful and everything and interesting. And thank you so much for being on my show. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know my listeners are going to enjoy it. And I will have you back again. And so keep in touch with me. Let's keep in touch.
Yes, it's imperative. And thank you for this opportunity, Nadia. This has been amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you. God bless you.
You too. You as well.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions, recipes and photos of Latin food, Hispanics in business. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry, and see photos of Latinos in action all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.